First Samuel chapter 25. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he and his 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a good woman of understanding, beautiful countenance, but the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall you say to him that lives in prosperity, Peace be both to you, and peace to your house, and peace unto all that you have. And now I have heard that you have shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither were there aught missing of them, all the while they were in Carmel. Ask thy young men, and they will show you. Wherefore let the young men find favor in your eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray you, whatsoever comes to thine hand unto the servants, unto your son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal, according to all the words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants, and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed from my shearers, and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So David's young men turned their way, and went again, and came and told him all those sayings. And David said unto his men, Gird you on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And they went up after David, about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. And one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. But the men were very good unto us, and we were hurt not, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them. When we were in the fields, they were all a wall unto us, both night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master, and against all his household, for he is a son of Belial, that a man cannot speak to him. Then Abigail made haste, and took 200 loaves, and two bottles of wine, 5 sheep ready dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she said unto her servants, what she say to her servants? Let's see here. Go before me, behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so, as she rode on the ass, and she came down by the culvert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, Surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow has in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertains unto him, and he has requited me evil for good. So, and more also, do God unto the enemies of David, if I leave all that pertains to him by the morning light, any that pisses against the wall. Because he's talking about all the dudes. And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass, and fell before David on her face, and bowed herself to the ground, and fell at his feet, and said, Upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be, and let thine handmaid, I pray you, speak in thy audience, and hear the words of your handmaid. Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thy handmaid, saw not the young man of the Lord, whom you sent. Now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, seeing the Lord has withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging yourself with your own hand, now let your enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal, And now this blessing which thy handmaid has brought unto my lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my lord. And I pray thee, forgive the trespass of your handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my lord a sure house. And because my lord fights the battles of the Lord," a lot of lords in this sentence, "and evil has not been found in all thy days. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee and to seek your soul, but the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life which the Lord thy God, with the Lord thy God, and the souls of thine enemies, them shall he sling out as out of the middle of a sling. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all that he has spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto you, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord has avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember thine handmaid." So I just use some names instead of my Lord every 5 seconds. It's kind of hard to read. "And David said to Abigail, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand. For in very deed, as the Lord God of Israel lives, which has kept me back from hurting you, except you had hasted and come to meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisses against the wall. So David received her of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to your house. See, I have hearkened to your voice, and have accepted thy person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king, and Nabal's heart was merry within him. For he was very drunken, wherefore she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning light. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife was told these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. And it came to pass about 10 days after that the Lord smote Nabal, and he died. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord, that hath pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and has kept his servants from evil. For the Lord has returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife. And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, David sent us unto thee to take you to him to wife. And she arose and bowed herself on her face to the earth, and said, Behold, let your handmaid be as a servant to wash the feet of the servants of the Lord. And Abigail hasted and rose, and rode upon an ass with 5 damsels of hers that went after her, and she went after the messengers of David, and became his wife. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. But Saul had given Michal his daughter, David's wife, to Phalti the son of Laish, which was of Galem. So David got a lot of problems now. He's got all kinds of wives now. Anyway, that's it for that one. So God bless you guys. Have a good weekend. We'll try to see you again Monday.